Hello, everybody. If you want to read all the stories in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you. Short story 627, The Great Biscuit Mix-Up. Intermediate. It was Monday morning in the small office of Green & Co. Everyone was sleepy and the coffee machine was already working hard. Claire, the office manager, had brought in a big tin of biscuits to cheer everyone up. "Help yourselves," she said proudly. "I bought all the rest ones." Within minutes, people were munching and dipping biscuits into tea and coffee. Mark, who always thought he was clever, reached into the tin without looking and grabbed a biscuit. He took a big bite and immediately pulled a strange face. "Ugh, what is this?" he cried. Everyone turned to stare at him. "It's a biscuit, Mark," Claire replied. "What's the problem?" "This doesn't taste like a biscuit," Mark said. "It tastes spicy." The office went silent. Then Lucy, the intern, started laughing. "Mark, you've just eaten a dog biscuit." The room exploded with laughter. Claire gasped. "Oh no, I must have picked up the wrong tin at home. That was for my dog, Chester." Mark ran to the sink and tried to wash his mouth out with water, but it was too late. The damage was done. For the rest of the morning, everyone called him Chester. To make things worse, whenever someone said sit or fetch, Mark responded automatically, just to keep the joke alive. At one point, Lucy even threw a crumpled piece of paper across the room, and Mark, without thinking, caught it in his mouth. The office howled with laughter. By lunchtime, even Mark was laughing at himself. "All right," he admitted, "maybe I deserved this, but tomorrow I'm bringing in my own biscuits, human ones." The next day, Mark arrived with a big tin clearly labelled in huge letters, "Not for dogs." And from then on, nobody in the office ever trusted Claire with biscuits again. Vocabulary notes. Munch, verb, meaning to eat something noisily, usually in small bites. Example: within minutes, people were munching and dipping biscuits into tea and coffee. Similar words: chew, crunch, nibble. Extra example: the children were munching crisps while watching TV. Gasp, verb, meaning to breathe in suddenly, usually because of surprise, shock, or fear. Example: Claire gasped, "Oh no! I must have picked up the wrong tin at home." Similar words: inhale sharply, pant, choke, in surprise. Extra example: she gasped when she saw the price of the shoes. Howl with laughter, phrase idiom, meaning to laugh very loudly and uncontrollably. Example: the office howled with laughter. Similar words, phrases: crack up, roar with laughter, burst out laughing. Extra example: the audience howled with laughter at the comedian's joke. Labelled, verb, adjective, meaning to attach a piece of paper, writing, or sticker that shows what something is. Example: Mark arrived with the big tin clearly labelled in huge letters, "Not for dogs." Similar words: tagged, marked, named. Extra example: all the boxes were labelled with the customer's addresses. Deserve, verb, meaning to be worthy of something, usually a reward or punishment because of your actions. Example: all right, I deserved this, Mark admitted. Similar words: earn, merit, be worthy of. Extra example: she studied hard and deserved to pass the exam. Story written by ChatGPT AI. Image created by onemin.ai. To read all the stories in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you.
Hey, welcome. Today, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to dive into a pretty hilarious short story called The Great Biscuit Mix-Up. And along the way, we'll pick up some fantastic new English vocabulary.
Okay, just picture this. It's a Monday morning, you're at the office, the coffee's just starting to kick in,
and all of a sudden you hear someone yell, "Ah, what is this?" I mean, what on earth could possibly cause a reaction like that? Let's find out. So our story kicks off in the small office of a company called Green & Co., where a simple tin of biscuits is about to cause some serious chaos. You know how it is on a Monday. To cheer everybody up, Claire, the office manager, brings in this big tin of what she says are the best biscuits. You know, a really nice gesture to get the week started. And everyone's happy, the mood lifts, but, well, not for long. All right, now we get to the incident itself. This is where a simple snack break turns into an office legend. So, enter Mark. Now, Mark's one of those guys who always thinks he's being clever. So instead of, looking and choosing a biscuit, he just confidently reaches into the tin, no look, and grabs the first one he touches. A pretty bold move, you got to admit. He pulls it out, raises it to his mouth, and with all the confidence in the world, takes this huge bite. You can practically hear the crunch from across the room. And then it happens. His face just twists into this look of pure confusion. He blurts out that it doesn't taste like a biscuit at all. It tastes spicy? The entire office just goes dead silent. And that's when the truth bomb drops. The intern, Lucy, she just starts laughing and delivers the killer line, "Mark, you've just eaten a dog biscuit." The whole room just erupts. Claire looks on in horror, and it all clicks. In her rush that morning, she grabbed the wrong tin. This tin was for her dog, Chester. Oh man, the damage is done. But okay, beyond the fact that it's a hilarious story, it actually uses some really great language. So, let's use this whole mix-up to unlock 5 new English words and phrases.
All right, our first word is munch. It's just a great, informal word for eating something, usually with a bit of a crunch to it. Like the sound someone makes when they're happily eating a bag of chips. That's munching.
And here's where we saw it in the story. It sets the scene perfectly, right before the disaster. It paints this picture of everyone just happily munching away, totally unaware of what was really in that tin. Next up, we have gasp. A gasp is that sharp little intake of breath you do when you're suddenly really surprised or shocked about something. It's a totally physical reaction to some kind of stunning news. And boom, here it is in action. This is that exact moment of realization for Claire. That one little gasp says it all. It's filled with all of her shock and embarrassment. Ah, this is one of my favorites. To howl with laughter. This isn't just a little giggle. No. This is a big, loud, uncontrollable laugh that you just can't hold back. And of course, this is exactly what happened the second everyone realized Mark had eaten a dog biscuit. The entire office just completely lost it. This phrase just perfectly captures that moment of pure, out-of-control fun. Our fourth word is deserve. This is a really useful one. It basically connects an action to the right consequence, good or bad. You do something, you earn the outcome. You get what you deserve. And this really shows that Mark was a good sport about it all. After his whole "I'm too clever to look" routine, he finally admits, yeah, okay, maybe I deserve this embarrassing moment. And finally, we have labeled. Super simple, but super important word. It just means to mark something so you know what it is. If only Claire's tin had been properly labeled. And here is the perfect ending to our vocabulary lesson. The very next day, Mark takes charge. He brings in his own tin of biscuits with a very, very clear label. So what happened after that? Did things just go back to normal? Of course not. Mark's little mistake became an absolute legend around the office.
The consequences for Mark were pretty hilarious. He got the new nickname, Chester, after the dog, and he just leaned right into it, responding to commands like sit, and even playing fetch with balled-up paper. And of course, he learned a valuable lesson about labeling.
So, what are the big takeaways here? Well, first, learning new words through a story like this really helps them stick in your brain. We've got 5 great new items for our vocabulary. And maybe, just maybe, the most important lesson of all, always read the label. And that kind of leaves us with one final thought. This whole story was just about a simple mix-up with some pretty funny results. It really makes you think, what's the funniest workplace mix-up you've ever seen or been a part of? Something to think about. Thanks for joining me.